Hello and welcome to another mini guide. My name is Jonathan Reese and I work at Inter-American University Aguadilla campus, and today's mini guide will be on writing style differences. We've already covered APA and today we'll be covering the MLA writing style differences. So as I have seen here, keep in mind that not all differences will be included in these very short mini guides. The Graduate Research Center, or like we call it, the GRC, has all these books on each style available for the student use. So if you need to visually inspect these books, we do have them at our center. As you can see here, we do have a website you can go and you can find all this information, and a lot of other pertinent information can be found there. So again, this mini guide will be covering the MLA writing style. When it comes to your papers, your professors here may ask you for APA, MLA, and the Chicago writing styles. Please remember, it is your professor who is the ultimate authority and guide for their class, so you need to keep that in mind. You may have a professor who perhaps asks you for an APA or an MLA or a Chicago writing style, but they may have a hybrid where they may ask you to follow some format but then change a couple things for their particular course. So please keep that in mind. So for the MLA handbook, it is available. We have a copy, and the guy or the library has a copy as well. So far we are on the 8th edition. The 9th edition will be available mid-2021 of this year. So it's not out yet. So this guide was created with the latest edition, which is the 8th edition. So who actually uses MLA style or writing styles? Usually it's used in research and humanities. Some of the programs include English, although APA is used as well, even at the same universities, perhaps in different campuses. MLA and APA styles can be used, or professors. It includes theater, cultural studies, history and international studies, languages, culture, philosophy, religious studies, and performing arts. So the main differences between our MLA and APA styles, which are the two most commonly used styles here at Inter-American University, will be the in-text citation. As you know, at the graduate level, you have to cite and do citations or citing when you're working on a paper. So to do these in-text citations, when you're quoting someone, as you can see here under the APA or APA, you have last name of the person, which is Reese. Then you have a comma, the date, a comma, and the page number. But for MLA, all it requires is the person's last name and the page number. So references, as we all know, references or what's on the very last part of all the works cited for APA, but on MLA it is exactly called that. It is titled Works Cited. So please keep that in mind. Whatever your professor is asking you for, there are some of these small minute differences, but they are differences that need to be taken into consideration when you are writing. So the names on those reference lists are the works cited. Again, on APA, you have the person's last name. So I used myself as this example. So you have Reese, comma, J. But in the MLA, as you can see there, you need to spell out both first and last names. So you still have the comma and the period on the same spaces or the same areas, but please remember that MLA, both names, last and first, are spelled out completely. Running heads, some professors ask you for a running head, some do not. But if they do, the title of the paper and the page number is on the running head for APA, and the author's name and the page number will be on the MLA. So do you need a title page for the MLA? As I've written, the simple answer is no. But again, as I had stated in the very beginning of this mini guide, you may have a professor that does ask you to follow an MLA writing style, but they do want a title page. So please remember, they are the ultimate guides or the authority in their courses. But if they do tell you to follow the MLA manual exactly, then you do not need a title page at all. So that first page, how should it be set up? As you know, APA, you can go back and see the other mini guide on APA in Chicago. We do have an official cover page, but that first page for MLA, on the upper left-hand corner, everything should be double-spaced. You need to have your name, afterwards the instructor's name, the course, and the date the assignment is due. Not when you complete the assignment. So if the day is the 7th of February and it's due the 9th, then you would not write the 7th, you would write the 9th, the day it is due. The title of the work right after the date is you're going to hit that space, that enter, and you're going to make sure that it is centered for the title. You do not underline, you don't italicize, you do not capitalize, and you do not bold the title. So there, again, double space between the title and the first line of the text. The header will be in the right-hand corner, and that's going to include your last name and a page number. And of course, we number all the pages consecutively. So that very first page is going to have all this information on the very top. It would say Reese and then a space and then the number 1, as it would be the very first page. So as you can see here on the top right, it has Reese 1, as I had just said. So it's going to be the last name and a page number. Then it has the student's information, Jonathan Reese, the professor, John Smith. You have the course, English 3101, and the date that it is due, February 8th, 2021. And the title there, it says MLA Practice First Page, is going to be centered in the middle. And it's going to be the exact same font size. You're going to hit that enter button one time, and then you're going to tab once and begin writing your paragraph. Please remember that each paragraph should be indented and double-spaced. Everything is usually Times New Roman, and the font size of 12 is what is recommended. So the main text, as I had just said, double-space everything. Whenever you do create a new paragraph, begin with that half-inch indent. Usually I tell my students to not use the space bar 5 to 7 times. Just hit that tab button. It's going to be a lot easier. And everything should always be aligned left. Please don't center or don't have it justified. And the page number is usually on the very top right. So as you can see there, you always indent each paragraph. 1-inch margins are all around. Double space the entire work. Everything should be aligned left, and that page number should go right there next to your last name on the very top right. So how about the numbers? Do we write them as words or as numerals? Well, you should write the numbers as words and not as numerals in a word or two. Okay, and that's going to be found on page 92 of your MLA manual. So example, you have 1, 36, and 9200. So try to always make sure that you spell out the numbers. A numeral should still be used when you're referring to something specific, 15 centimeters or 1.5 inches when using a decimal, so you're allowed to actually write the numbers, not as words. So here as well is another common question. So when you're writing an essay or an assignment or some type of research for your professor, you might think, well, on the section, should I have a label with each section, or should I just write an entire paper, not have any differences in there? Well, when writing that essay or an assignment, there are going to be different sections, and you can label them with a number followed by a period and then the section name. So as an example there, I've put on part 1, you could put early year, so you'd actually have a 1, a period, and then followed by the section name, and you can start writing everything. And then you have another section which would be 2. I put there pre-modernism and postmodernism, and that's the way that you can differentiate between sections in your essay or in your paper. So the works cited, as I had said in the very beginning, it should say works cited, not references. It's going to be at the top of the page. Font size is identical to everything else, which is usually Times New Roman font 12. You're going to hit the enter button twice, 2 spaces before beginning. Please make sure that all entries should be in alphabetical order, and they should be aligned left and double spaced. Okay, just like APA, you should have that indent for each entry except for the first one. And right there, the author's last name, first name, title of the book, the edition, publisher, and the year of publication. I hope you've enjoyed this mini guide. If you have any further comments or questions, you can write to me at jreese@aguadilla.inter.edu, or you can contact me at 787-891-0925, extension 2402. Thank you.